Jake, I know you've done some extensive research watching some of these guys. Who are some names to keep an eye on at 49 for the Browns?
Yeah, I think everybody is pretty convinced that they're going to certainly need some help along the cornerback secondary market. We'll talk one more position as well, but a guy who makes a lot of sense, the guy who the Browns are going to bring in for a workout, Justin Layne, kid from Michigan State, really good football player, has obviously had a nice career in terms of production. He switched over from a wide receiver is what he initially came to play. He's from the Cleveland area, has a connection to the Browns, even has made it known on his social media that he quote unquote wants the Browns to bring him home. A really good cover three corner, turn bail guy who can play the jump ball effectively. Long, lanky body type that is going to give a nice option, so sort of opposite Denzel Ward and those options in terms of matching up with different receiver types, as Ward is that guy who can run with those burners. And then you maybe have Layne who can play a little bit more of the lankier, taller receivers and play the high point stuff that a lot of teams like to operate in. So, it's just a good fit, could be an ideal fit in a cover three system, that opposite player. I know the Browns have Terrence Mitchell, who they liked a lot last year. They brought over from Kansas City, obviously liked a little bit of what T.J. Carey was able to do in the last half of the season, but you can never have enough good cornerback depth. They let go of Brian Calhoun, so I'm sure they will look to attack corner in some capacity. And Justin Layne might make a lot of sense. He shot up draft boards, but at the same time, he is a guy who could sort of settle into that early second round. If he's not taken late in the first, that early second round, and could potentially slip to the Browns at 49 if they'd like him to. Another area they might try to attack is offensive tackle. Jani Cajuste, kid, West Virginia, might sort of be that odd man out from the first group of tackles. He's a big guy, can play left tackle, had upwards of 30 starts at left tackle in his career at West Virginia, battled some knee injuries, but he's got that long body type that you think is good enough to handle left tackle position for a long time, able to sort of get back, handle speed rushers, but also at 312, he'd probably settle in about 310 pounds, able to handle the bull rush the teams throw too. I know Desmond Harrison was a guy the Browns started early last year, was a guy who could obviously handle speed rush, but wasn't necessarily great at handling the power rush or the bull rush the teams were throwing at him. So that balance and what the Browns look for there, if he's available at 49, Jani Cajuste, Greg Little, another guy from Ole Miss, are names that they could certainly consider to groom a long-term offensive tackle answer, whether on the left side or the right side, if they should so choose. And then strong safety is another position that they are certainly going to, as each day passes, have to attack as well. They haven't brought in Eric Berry. They haven't brought in Trey Boston, a guy that makes a lot of sense. Some people have mocked him there, across the multitude of drafts that come out from some really good draft analysts. Chauncey Gardner-Johnson, kid from Florida, is a fantastic safety corner hybrid. You think of last year, a lot of the Browns' buzz was for Minkah Fitzpatrick from Alabama, and Minkah went to Miami early in the draft. The Browns passed on him. But you think that type of player, that's what you could get with Chauncey Gardner-Johnson, a guy who can play the slot and not just play tight ends or bigger slots, but be able to play smaller slots, shifty guys, can also come up and play the hash and cover three, but can play a cover two situation as well, and is able to come up and participate in the run game in the box. So we talk about what Jabril Peppers' responsibilities were in this defense and why Steve Wilkes was so excited to have that player is his ability to play the run game and pass game and be a threat, almost like a pseudo-hybrid linebacker. Chauncey Gardner-Johnson can do that, but he can also give you a little bit of athleticism that is more than expected at that position to be able to cover all the time and stay on the field. So there's no need to ever remove him from the field because he can play in any, your base 4-3. He could play in your, big nickel situations. All of those things he can play in those spots, and he would be an ideal fit. Now, does he get to 49? I don't know, but if he does, that is the ideal player that the Browns need at that position.